This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Full Sail University. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Rettinger's Rants. I'm your host, Jon Rettinger. It's the show where I rant, rave, and get super red-faced on something that's going on in the world of technology and sometimes just a little bit outside. So the dust has finally settled on E3 and we can look back with the benefit of hindsight and finally say, what the hell was Microsoft thinking? But I don't think Microsoft is full to blame for the flack that they're getting. Let's go ahead and start ranting. So now that Sony and Microsoft have shown their respective hands, we know what the next generation consoles is going to bring. And I will say that Sony whipped Microsoft up and down the floor, highlighted by $100 less for the console and the whole used games fiasco. Sony released a commercial saying, here's how you trade used games, and they handed a game to somebody. Microsoft, though, took a way more convoluted approach. First of all, charging $100 more for the console. Now, I get that that includes a Kinect unit, which has a lot of cost to it, but for the person who's just looking to buy a console and isn't really a hardcore gamer, doesn't have any allegiance one way or another, the $100 difference is going to make a huge difference in what they are going to buy. At least that's my expectation. And then Microsoft got all kinds of high and mighty and really started to act a little bit on the pompous side with the Xbox One, which admittedly looks like a very nice console. But the big deal that really got my goat and got me thinking was how they were handling used games. The initial thought was if you wanted to play used games, you have to pay full retail price for them. They backed off from that a little bit. You could trade games to a friend, but they gotta be a friend for a certain amount of time, and all kinds of just crazy rules that go along with used games. I don't really do that much in the used games world, but I get why people do it. And it's a huge market that creates jobs. You got stores like GameStop, but just a nice thing to do with your friends. You just beat Call of Duty, whatever it might be here. Buddy, you should play it, or a way to, recoup some of the costs of $60 games, because those things are expensive. Microsoft's been getting a ton of flack for, again, how they're handling used games. But the more I thought about it, the more it sort of dawned on me that maybe it's not Microsoft's fault necessarily, and maybe they're the ones that are taking the heat. I think the blame for that lies with the developers of the games. I would wager a guess. Now, before you guys get all crazy and mad and call me names, just think about what I'm saying first from a business standpoint and take the passion and the emotion out of it. You are a game developer, let's say, and you just spend months, perhaps years, making a game, and you're deciding whether or not you want to release it exclusively on one console, or perhaps you knew that before you start developing it. You're looking at the Xbox One and the PS4. If you make a game for the Xbox One, not only will you get the revenue from the initial sale of the game, you'll also get revenue back now from used game sales, which is something that Sony's not going to offer. And I would wager that developers are going to be making more games for the Xbox One, and Xbox One is going to have more exclusive titles for it than the PS4 and this generation of consoles, because there's more money to be made for the developers. And perhaps Microsoft knew that and said, okay, we're big enough, we're mighty enough, we were so successful last generation, we'll take the heat for what the developers want us to do. And in turn, maybe the heat will die down eventually and we'll get better games than Sony might. Now, just my expectation from a business standpoint, I kind of get it. You look at the PC world, you buy a game, you get a code, and if you want to give that game to a friend, they gotta buy a new code. I think it's like they're trying to bring the sort of PC gaming mentality to the consoles. And that's been widely accepted in the PC world, but not accepted in the console world. Now, the only reason as a gamer I would even remotely tolerate this, if I was an Xbox One gamer, would be for better games, perhaps, would be the only thing. And if you're not getting better games, you're not getting better exclusive titles, you're not getting more exclusive titles, there's very little compelling reason to accept what Microsoft is doing. Now, just because things have been done one way doesn't mean they're obviously going to be done that way the whole way. Microsoft's clearly trying to change the paradigm, but Sony did not play along. And if Sony played along, then that just would have been the new way things are done. But since Sony said, nope, if you want to play used games, you buy it once, you own it, you can give it to whoever you want, Microsoft now looks clearly like the big bad wolf and the bad guy. Perhaps it might put some pressure on them to maybe change the rules. But I'll take your guys' thoughts. Leave them in the comments down below. We take a minute to thank our friends and sponsors at Full Sail University. You know that the mobile app world is on fire right now. Full Sail University's online mobile development bachelor's degree program can teach you the skill set you need to take advantage of all those emerging opportunities. And there are a lot of them that are emerging. Courses are delivered through Full Sail's immersive online education platform, which maximizes capabilities of the Mac. That's because you're going to be given a MacBook Pro, giving you a learning experience unlike any other. Between the App Store and Google's Play Store, over 50 billion apps have been downloaded with really no sign of slowing down in sight. If you're ready to master the technology and software to compete in the rapidly growing industry, Visit fullsail.edu/technobuffalo to learn more about their online degree program. Again, that's fullsail.edu/technobuffalo to learn more about their online degree program. See you guys next week. I am Jon Rettinger from TechnoBuffalo. Thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. We most definitely appreciate it. Check us out at technobuffalo.com for the latest and greatest tech news. I will exhale, and I'll see you in the next video.